Ever booked a meeting with a HubSpot rep and walked away wondering if you just paid for the privilege? Or maybe you're considering HubSpot and trying to decipher their pricing, especially when it comes to those crucial sales meetings. It can feel like navigating a maze blindfolded, right? You're not alone. HubSpot's pricing, particularly around meetings and consultations, can be a bit opaque. That's exactly what we're tackling today. We're going to demystify how much you actually pay for a HubSpot meeting, what influences the cost, and how to make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck. Let's be clear up front. You don't directly pay for a sales meeting with HubSpot. They're not going to send you a bill just for chatting about their platform. However, the cost of a HubSpot meeting isn't always monetary. It can involve your time, your focus, and the potential commitment you're making by engaging with their sales team. Think of it less as a fee and more as an investment of your resources in exploring whether HubSpot is the right solution for your business. Now, let's break down the different scenarios where the question of payment might come up. First, there are the initial discovery calls. These are typically free. They're designed for HubSpot to understand your needs and for you to understand what HubSpot offers. Think of it as a mutual getting to know you phase. No money exchanges hands here. The cost here is primarily your time. Is it worth spending an hour or so exploring a potential solution? Only you can answer that. Then you have more specialized consultations. Perhaps you're interested in a specific HubSpot product like the CRM, Marketing Hub, Sales Hub, or Service Hub. You might request a demo or a deeper dive into how a particular feature works. Again, these are generally offered without a direct charge. HubSpot understands that by investing their time in educating you, they're potentially gaining a customer. The cost here might be more about the level of commitment you feel. Are you genuinely interested, or just kicking the tires? Because if you're not serious, you might be wasting both your time and theirs. Where things can get a little more nuanced is when you start talking about onboarding, implementation, and ongoing support. These are areas where costs can definitely come into play. If you decide to purchase HubSpot, you'll likely need some help getting started. This is where implementation fees, training costs, and potentially even consulting fees can arise. These aren't directly tied to the initial meeting, but they are a downstream consequence of engaging with HubSpot and ultimately deciding to use their platform. So, while the initial meeting might have been free, the subsequent steps to get your HubSpot portal up and running will likely involve some financial investment. Another area where the cost of a HubSpot meeting can be felt is in the pressure to buy. Let's be honest, sales reps are there to sell. They're good at what they do. And while they might not directly charge you for the meeting, their ultimate goal is to convert you into a paying customer. This can sometimes create a feeling of pressure, especially if you're not quite ready to make a decision. The cost here is the mental energy you spend navigating the sales process and ensuring you're not being pressured into something you're not comfortable with. So, how do you make sure you're getting the most out of your HubSpot meetings without feeling like you're being charged in some way? Here are a few tips. First, be clear about your needs. The more specific you are about what you're looking for, the more productive the meeting will be. This saves everyone time and ensures you're getting the information you need. Second, do your research beforehand. Familiarize yourself with HubSpot's offerings so you can ask informed questions. This demonstrates that you're serious and helps you avoid wasting time on basic information. Third, don't be afraid to ask about pricing. Don't wait until the end of the process to bring up the cost. Be upfront about your budget and ask about the different pricing tiers and options available. Fourth, don't feel pressured to buy. A good sales rep will respect your decision-making process. If they're pushing too hard, it might be a red flag. Fifth, take notes. Keep track of what you discussed and any promises that were made. This will help you remember the key points and hold HubSpot accountable. Finally, remember that the relationship doesn't end after the initial meeting. If you do decide to become a HubSpot customer, you'll likely have ongoing interactions with their team. This is where the real value of a good HubSpot partnership comes in. It's not just about the software. It's about the support and guidance you receive along the way. So, while you might not directly pay for a sales meeting, you are investing in a potential long-term relationship. And that relationship, if nurtured properly, can be incredibly valuable for your business. Now, let's address some common questions that often come up regarding HubSpot meetings. Are HubSpot meetings recorded? Sometimes, yes. It depends on the context and the specific meeting. It's always a good idea to ask beforehand if the meeting will be recorded and how the recording will be used. Can I bring other people to the meeting? Absolutely. In fact, it's often encouraged. Bringing colleagues who are involved in the decision-making process can be very helpful. How long do HubSpot meetings typically last? It varies. Initial discovery calls might be shorter, while more in-depth consultations could take longer. It's best to allocate a reasonable amount of time, perhaps an hour or two, to ensure you have enough time to discuss everything. What if I need to reschedule a HubSpot meeting? That's usually not a problem. Just be sure to give them adequate notice. Ultimately, the cost of a HubSpot meeting is what you make of it. If you're prepared, informed, and clear about your needs, you can leverage these meetings to your advantage. They can be a valuable opportunity to learn about HubSpot's platform, explore different solutions, and determine if it's the right fit for your business. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Push back on sales pressure, and take your time to make a decision. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.